Today, I will be taking you on a tour of the new and exciting Utopia of the Seas.
Hey y'all, it's Koala bringing you quality cruise content.
Start on deck 18, which is going to include the suite sun deck. This is a perk that is accessible to those staying in a suite. I love how Utopia has the suite area. They're all behind doors, so if you're staying in a suite, you can experience more quietness and exclusivity. We also have Coastal Kitchen and the Suite Lounge here underneath too, so it's all in its little neighborhood. On the other side of the ship, we have the sun deck overlooking some of the pool area as well as the solarium. This was an interesting find. I think a lot of people do miss this part of the ship, but it is definitely here if you want to soak up some of the sun in a little bit more of a quieter area. And you're also going to be able to see the slides from here too, which if you are trying to take a video of your family having fun, this is a great vantage point for that. And then we also have something called Social 100. This is an area exclusive for teenagers, and it's an extension upon the normal area that they can hang out in down in the kids area below. Next up, we have the arcade. So if you are here with family, this is a great spot to have a little bit of fun and play some of the classic games that we all know and love, and some of the newer versions too. It's actually a pretty big arcade compared to some of the other ships in the fleet, and even in this class of ship too. Just remember that the arcade is not necessarily free. On this deck as well, we are going to find some of the eateries. If we go down this route, we're going to find a Loco Fresh. This is going to be your Mexican cuisine, and it's great if you just want to grab like a small bite because they have wrapped like burritos and things that you can take on the go with you. I absolutely love their burritos, especially for like when I wake up and I want some protein in the morning. Only downside is that it is all outdoor seating, so if you are not a fan of humidity, keep that in mind. This is also going to be a fun packed area too, so it can get a little bit crowded and noisy. Also keep that in mind. We do have a bar here if you want to grab a drink while you are watching the zip liners. Yes, this is going to be the aft or the back of the ship, and this is where we are going to find the mini golf, the sports court, the ultimate abyss slide, and the zip line activity as well. We're also going to find the kids play area back here. I really love the theme of this mini golf course, by the way. I think they did a beautiful job of incorporating some of the sea life and aquatic life and just making it a little bit more fun. Now, this playscape, as it is called, is actually 2 stories, and we're gonna see that there's just a lot for kids to do here. I think Royal Caribbean has been absolutely focusing on families and being kid-friendly, and this is just a great example of that and shows how much they are dedicating towards that group, and I think they're doing a really good job. What's also interesting is we only have one flowrider on here, which I say interesting because oftentimes on the bigger ships we'll see that we have 2 flowriders, particularly because it is an incredibly popular activity for kids and adults alike. So I was a little bit surprised that they minimized it just to 1. Not that I'm necessarily complaining, but I'm a bit intrigued by why Royal Caribbean did decide to make that decision. Anyways, comment down below if you think they should have had 2 on here. Maybe I'm just a big fan of the flowrider, but I do think that it was interesting. Do you think that having this kids area was worth getting rid of a flowrider? Alright, so here we have the Ultimate Abyss, and what I do like is they have this bar actually across from here too. This is where you can ask questions regarding the sports activities, but you can also get shaved ice, which is a great addition, especially because you're probably going to get really hot up here because you are in direct sunlight outdoors. So it's nice to cool down with some shaved ice and just a drink as well. This is also where you will find the height measurer, so you can ensure that your kids are tall enough to be able to go on these activities. Here's that flow rider that I mentioned. I do like how they incorporated the shade here. And we're also going to find a shower as well, so you can rinse off before and after riding the flow rider. Next to the flow rider, we are going to find the entrance to the zip line. So the zip line is a great feature of the Oasis class ships. I think it's something you should absolutely try. And also, side note, we're gonna see these monkeys all around the ship. So keep track of them as we adventure through. It's just a cute little quirky fun part of Utopia of the Seas. Next to here, we have the sports court. So if you want to get your game on, play some basketball, or partake in some of the activities that the Royal Caribbean crew hosts, this is where you will meet up. Behind here in the shade, thankfully, we have the ping pong court. We also see an extension of the Social 100 Lounge, which is for those who are ages 13 to 17, located very conveniently next to all of the activities. Also on this deck, right in the center of the ship, is going to be the lime and coconut bar. This is where you can grab a drink from the pool deck. There is a smaller version of this on the deck below that you can keep an eye out, but this one is really hard to miss because it is huge. It is right in the center of the ship. This is also where you can check in for your cabanas and reserved spots. As you'll see, we have these beautiful colored cabanas that you can rent out, and we overlook lots of the fun here on board. We have a kids area and a couple of pools. This ship is absolutely designed for fun in the sun. Something I also really like, just a small thing, is that we can see the Royal Caribbean anchor logo here on the side of the ship, which is awesome. It's kind of picturesque, so you can take your selfies and photos showing that you are on board a Royal Caribbean ship. Now, this being a pool deck, and you'll notice we don't have the jogging track here, and I think that this is a really good decision by Royal Caribbean because oftentimes with the jogging track, people who are trying to run, sometimes, if you're walking around, you can collide, or it just doesn't make it a feasible option for some runners and their pace. So we are going to find that on a lower deck. But up here, we're going to see some whirlpools and lots of fun here. Like I said, this ship is really made for outdoor activities. You're also going to have live music up here, which is just to add more fun. And we have this huge television screen. On the other side of the ship, we have Hooked. This is one of the specialty restaurants. It overlooks the Solarium and the Solarium Bistro here, but this is a really nice seafood restaurant and really enjoyed that lobster roll. And speaking of the Solarium, I have to say definitely top 2 solariums in my opinion from Royal Caribbean. The overhanging whirlpool is absolutely phenomenal. Now, since I was on an inaugural sailing, those windows were very clean, and honestly, it was incredibly fun to take photos here because it looked like there was just no window behind me. It was that beautiful, that clear, and I love that the water goes straight to the window, so it's almost like an infinity pool kind of vibe. And it's absolutely breathtaking. Now, attached to the solarium is the Solarium Bistro. Now, this is a place that you can grab dinner. It's not necessarily a paid specialty restaurant, but it is something that you have to book. We're also going to find that the chef's table is located in here too, which I think is a really interesting decision. I do think it serves as like a private and intimate setting for the chef's table, but I did find it weird how it was incorporated into the Solarium Bistro of all restaurants. Probably just because it had this space is my guess. I think the decor in here is very modern. I think with this ship, the decoration all around the ship all serves its own purpose. So every single room you go into has a different atmosphere to it, and I think Royal Caribbean does a really good job of decorating and providing that atmosphere for all of their different settings, because what some people may, for instance, really love the plants like in here in the solarium and whatnot, It feeds into that tropical vibe because here we are in the Caribbean on vacation, right? So I think they do a really good job of that. So let's take a little bit more of a look of the solarium. We're going to have these staggering pools. We're going to have a bar as well. It's called the View. And this is located just outside the solarium, but it's a great place to grab a drink. There's lots of hand washing stations here too. And another really interesting feature of Utopia of the Seas is we have the solarium suite. This is a suite that is actually right next to the solarium. So if you love and are obsessed with the pool and sunbathing, that is a great suite to book because it is in this little corridor right here and it's right there. I mean, you are right next door to the solarium. Now, whether that poses an issue of noise levels is another question. The solarium is an adult-only area, typically barring inclement weather, but for the most part, it's just going to be adults. So the noise level, I would hope, is probably not going to be that much, but I would be interested in testing out that cabin to learn more about if the benefit of being near the solarium is worth it. We do have a few whirlpools. Something interesting that I found with this ship as well is we have the loungers in the pool. It's a very shallow area, and that's kind of a new thing for Royal, and we saw it in the suite sun deck as well. Not sure how I feel about it, but I actually kind of like it. It's great if you want to feel like you're at the pool, dip your toes in a little bit, and maybe like read a book. You know what I mean? But like I said, overall, gotta be one of my favorite solariums by far. And here's a look at the entrance to the solarium suite just a little bit so you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. It's very to the side, private, and great for that respect. Now, let's walk out of the solarium real quick. We're gonna see that bar just to the side here. And then this is going to be the main pool deck. Going to find the exit areas for all of the different slides on this deck as well. If you are looking to ride the slides, then you are going to find the staircase here. The pool area does overlook Central Park, so it's going to just feel massive. I mean, it is already an incredibly large ship, but the fact that it does have that very open concept in the center really feeds into the idea of just how big this ship is. And it's incredibly long as well. I have no fear that I will be making my step goals every time I am on this ship. Now, because it is such a large ship and we have so many more people, we're going to find more pools, we're going to find more whirlpools, and I think that's great because it would have been absolutely an issue if Royal Caribbean hadn't, because of just how popular the pool deck is. I mean, think about it. When people are asking for advice on what should you do on your first day on board, a lot of people say, have your swimsuit ready and just go jump in the pool. It really is that popular. Here we're gonna also see that center area with the lime and coconut bar, and we're gonna see the downstairs lime and coconut as well, just right here. So you don't necessarily have to go up the stairs if you don't want to grab a drink, but it might actually be slightly quieter upstairs. I'm only saying slightly because everyone might have the same idea. Sometimes you just want to sit out in the sun, but you don't necessarily want to hog up one of the pool chairs. So I think that they had this balance in mind for that particular issue. We're gonna find the towel stations around here. We're gonna find hand washing stations and life jacket area as well near the pool for the kids. So if you do have a younger kid who needs a life jacket, great place to stop by and make sure your kids are safe, because that is incredibly important. Even while you're on vacation and you anticipate everything to go well, it's always good to make sure everything is good. If you are finding this video helpful and informative so far, I would absolutely appreciate you subscribing to the channel so you can stay up to date on all things cruising, as well as liking this video and checking out all of my other Utopia of the Seas content. I have done a video on the Izumi Omakase experience, as well as the Royal Railway experience too. So if you are interested in those specialty dining experiences, make sure to check out the other videos on my channel. Now back here, we are going to find a really interesting addition. This is called the Spare Tire. It is like a quick bite place that you can just grab something off of the hot plates. They have a wide variety of items to choose from, like taquitos, which I think they call tornadoes. Great if you just want a really quick snack while you're out by the pool. On this deck, we are going to find the Windjammer, but right next to the Windjammer is the Mason Jar. This is another specialty restaurant. As you can tell, Royal Caribbean is really emphasizing the specialty restaurants on this ship. This is kind of like a southern cuisine restaurant. They do have lunch as well as dinner and like a brunch menu as well. Lots of really great items to choose from to start your day off. And they have a lot of live music in here too because it is a restaurant and bar. So you might have to get your dancing shoes or your boots on and get to partying in here when that music is starting. You'll see that it's kind of split into two. We have the bar and music area, and then we have more of what I would call like a traditional dining area. So that is good if you don't necessarily want to be in the music and you just want to eat your food. And as mentioned, Royal Caribbean does such a great job at their theming, y'all. All right, so let's take a look at this Windjammer. This is so interesting to me, not only because it's a different layout, but it's because it's on deck 15. And if you are a loyal to Royal person, you would know that traditionally, not all, but traditionally, the Windjammer is found on deck 11. So very, very different, something I had to get used to, but I actually really love it. I think the layout is amazing. Is it a lot more to walk through? Yeah, I probably would say, because you actually wrap all the way around this little area overlooking the boardwalk. But I think that it does a good job of separating the food and the dining space. So you're not right up next to the food, and it allows for better flow because, as you may know, especially on boarding day, the Windjammer just packed. We do see our typical stations, so each station is going to have a little bit of a different cuisine. As well, we are going to find a bar in here and a drink station. I love the drink station. A common concern for new cruisers or people who want to go on a cruise is that it's really easy to get sick on a cruise because, you know, everyone's all on board. And Royal Caribbean and a lot of cruise lines do a really good job of making sure that these ships are clean. You're going to find hand washing stations and hand sanitizer everywhere, I promise. However, I think they earn lots of brownie points for incorporating contactless drink dispensers. So that's one less thing you have to touch, one less way to get sick. Definitely a good choice for them. Now, as mentioned, it can get busy, but we have a lot of seating back here. And the further you go, the quieter it gets. We're gonna see that it wraps around. We get that all-encompassing view. And I love that we have windows overlooking the boardwalk here. Because we could have just had plain, boring walls, but nope. Royal Caribbean said, let's put windows here. And I think it really adds to the ambiance of the ship. Now, let's take a look at deck 14. So we're gonna have the Royal Escape Room, as well as Adventure Ocean. So if you're unfamiliar, Adventure Ocean is going to be the hangout spot for all of the kids. I grew up in Adventure Ocean, and let me tell you, I loved it. And I'm not just saying that because I'm making a YouTube video and I want you to agree with me. I actually really enjoyed it. It definitely brought me out of my social anxiety shell, so to speak. Being able to meet other kids and just have fun is a really great experience for kids. And it definitely helped me become more confident. And because, you know, when you're meeting new people, you get a little nervous, especially as a kid. So it definitely brought me out of my shell a little bit. And the activities that they have here are phenomenal. I always enjoyed Gaga Ball. If anyone is familiar, I have so many medals from that because I would play every single game that they hosted, even the family Gaga Ball. So I really think that if you are concerned about your kids hanging out here, I would say let them have a shot at it. They might not like it the first day, and honestly, that might be something to expect. I think they absolutely do a phenomenal job of making sure the kids have a good time. So deck 12, we are going to have Giovanni's. So this is not necessarily controversial, but I think it's interesting. So something that you may not know is this is typically where we would find a restaurant called Wonderland. And Wonderland is a very interesting experience, as most people would put it. It's for adventurous eaters. It's not necessarily for the faint of heart. Do I think that every single person should at least try it once? Absolutely, because I say don't hate on something until you've tried it. However, it appears that Royal Caribbean decided to skip Wonderland and place our classic loved Giovanni's classic Italian restaurant here. I love the atmosphere in here. I do love that it's 2 stories. I think it feeds into the romantic, intimate feeling of Giovanni's. You can eat here for lunch, but you can eat here for dinner too. It is a specialty restaurant, so it is not included. Now let's take a look at the music hall. If the name didn't imply already, this is where they're going to host live music. So I actually find that this is a great place to tuck away to if you need a little bit more quiet. I know that seems ironic, but during the day when they're not having any events or music in here, it's actually a very quiet spot to hang out at. We do have the beautiful glass panels here too, so don't worry, you'll still get some amazing views. There's a bar in here, and we're actually going to find a pool table or a billiards table upstairs on the 2nd floor as well. But I do like to sit in here when I get the chance if I need to work and focus a little bit more. This is really a great spot to do that because not a lot of people come in here when there's no event or music going on. And I mean, I am a huge fan of the windows in here. They actually do host some of the weddings in this hall. So if you are ever interested in getting married at sea on board a cruise ship, this is one of the venues that you can usually choose from. It's a very popular one too. I mean, you have a beautiful backdrop. Next up is Central Park. So this is a beloved part of the ship for me. Oasis class is known for this area. We are going to have actual living plants here in Central Park. Central Park is mostly going to be home to specialty restaurants or just restaurants in general. We are going to see a shop in here, but it's mostly going to be for the food lovers or the people who are looking at specialty dining. First up is 150 Central Park. So this is a specialty restaurant, which means you do have to pay for it. Is it worth it? 100%. Besides Izumi, which we will see soon, this is one of the best restaurants that Royal Caribbean offers. I'd say 150 Central Park and Izumi are my 2 favorite restaurants. Couldn't recommend more because they have a consistently amazing experience. And when I say consistently, I mean I could go on Utopia back to back and it's going to be great every single time. Or I could go on another ship that has 150 Central Park and it's going to be an amazing experience. And consistency in dining is important to me, and that's why I rate this restaurant so highly, as well as Izumi. Here we have the Rising Tide Bar, so this actually takes you from Central Park to the promenade and back if you want to. Across from 150 Central Park is Chops Grill. This is a fan favorite for a lot of people. It's on a lot of ships, so it's nice that you have the comfort appeal here. It is another specialty restaurant, so you do have to pay for it. It's going to be a steakhouse vibe, and they do have very good steak here. And it's going to provide that American cuisine that a lot of people know and love. A very elegant dining experience in here. Now, as mentioned, all of the plans here are living, they are real, and they are well taken care of by the crew. I love Central Park because it's very picturesque. It's just a shame when the weather's not great because then you can't enjoy it as much, but it's nice to just walk through. You're gonna find the Trellis Bar here, which is just a quick place to grab a drink from. And we're gonna find lots of statues here too. Don't worry, we'll see another monkey. And this is also a great place to find or hide rubber ducks. For those of you who are unfamiliar, lots of cruise lovers, similar to the Jeep community, love to collect rubber ducks and trade them. So if you ever see a rubber duck somewhere around the ship, you can grab it, keep it, or re-hide it. All right, so this is a really interesting thing that Royal Caribbean has done. We have Izumi here in Central Park, and something a lot of people love, and I absolutely love, is they have extended upon it. So what is new? So we have our traditional hibachi and sushi, so that's the same. And then now we have Izumi in the park, which is where you can grab sushi to go or the bubble waffles, very delicious for dessert. Another new experience is the omakase experience, which is this little section right here. It is for 6 people only. I went by myself and dined with 5 other people. Could not recommend it enough. Is it pricey? Yes. Is it worth it? In my opinion, absolutely, if you love Asian cuisine. I have a full video showcasing my experience in this dining area, so check that out if you are interested. It's a multi-course meal that takes you throughout like a whole journey of Japanese food. And here at the end, we have the sushi area too. So let me know what you think. Do you think Royal Caribbean did good by extending Izumi and allowing for more experiences here? I'd say yes, because now we have more space. We have more space for the sushi section, but we also have lots of hibachi tables as well. Across from here, we have a shop. So if you do want to peruse the selections of the ship, you can do that here. You're gonna find a lot of designer shops on this ship actually. And as we keep going around, we will find Park Cafe. Park Cafe, but first, another monkey. So Park Cafe is a complimentary cafe, which a lot of people love. It offers breakfast and lunch. You'll find another Coca-Cola Freestyle machine in here, but you'll be able to grab any drink that you want out here. You can eat outside while listening to the live music they host here, or you can eat inside if the weather isn't your thing, if it's too humid or it's raining. Whatever the reason, you can choose where you want to eat. So it is a little bit bigger, and I think that is great because it is popular since it is complimentary. Similarly to the Windjammer, you'll find a couple stations in here, or you can order a sandwich. And as mentioned, you can grab drinks here too. They do have the contactless drink dispensers here as well, and you can choose from your tea selection and whatnot. So that is Central Park. Let me know what you think. Do you think they should have made any changes? I think it's pretty traditional to how Central Park has always been. So let's take a look at Deck 7, which is technically just the rock climbing wall. But I do want to point out this deck technically because we actually do have some space to sit and view the Aqua Theater show. It's a lesser known fact. A lot of people don't know about it, but if you get there early enough, you might be able to grab the chairs here to be able to watch the show from. And we can access this area through the boardwalk, which we will discover next. So the boardwalk is unique as well to Oasis class ships. It's definitely an extension of Royal Caribbean's move to really incorporating the family-friendly theme that they want on these ships. We're going to find a carousel, a candy store, but we're also going to find playmakers and Johnny Rockets. So we have a lot of choice here. It's not just for the kids because we do have that sports bar as well. We'll find some arcade games here too, as well as the dog house, which is going to be where you can grab a complimentary hot dog. I love it because it's complimentary. And it's just a little bit better than one of the hot dogs in the Windjammer. So if you just want something a little bit more interesting, you can get that here. Here we have a carousel, which is great for the kids and an activity they may love. We also have the candy store here. So Sugar Beach, as implied, is gonna have a lot of fun treats for all the kids. We're also going to find ice cream in here too. Just note, it is not complimentary, so you may not want your kid to go, hey, let's go to the candy store if you're trying to save money on this trip. Something I love too on this deck, as well as the deck below, is you're going to see a lot of signs because it can be very overwhelming, this ship. It's huge, so you won't get lost with all of the signs that they have around. Here we have the Kids Royal Shop. So it's an extension of the merch shop on the promenade deck, but this is going to be specifically catered towards the little kids. Now let's take a look at Playmakers right across the boardwalk. This is going to be our sports bar. It is technically specialty, as the food and drinks are going to be at a charge. It sucks, I know, but the food is actually really good. I love their cookie skillet. It's like a campfire cookie skillet. Delicious. I got that for my birthday, and I absolutely love it. The Playmakers fries are also a really good choice too. We're gonna find this little area that's an extension of an arcade and just some classic games like another pool or billiards table. It's a little bit more quiet than the rest of the bar, and just a nice little area to chill out at. So with this being a sports bar, we're gonna see more of the football games, basketball games, whatever they decide to put on the television. They actually have a schedule posted with all of the different games. So if you are intent on keeping up with all of the happenings going on land, you can do that from here. Also, another interesting thing is you can actually book the section in the back with all the bean bags and whatnot as a private area to watch one of the games at. So if you're here with friends or you just want to have your own private experience and just feel special for the day, you can do that here too. Across from here is Johnny Rockets. So this is going to be like a traditional American diner. We're going to find milkshakes, which are absolutely delicious. Unfortunately though, not complimentary, so you do have to pay, but those shakes are delicious. And we are going to find an incredible attraction, the Ultimate Abyss exit here. So at the beginning of the video, we saw the entrance to the slide, and here is where you will land. The tallest slide at sea, they say. We also have this cute little kids playground area as well. So as mentioned, this boardwalk is definitely catered towards kids. Here we have the Aqua Theater. So as the name kind of implies, this is going to be where all of the diving that they showcase in their performances. So you can sit in the front row and, dare I say, risk getting splashed, or you can sit from the back, but either way, you have a full view of the show here. They have lots of acrobatics here too. It is phenomenal. They do a great job. We also have access to the jogging track, which I'm gonna mention in a little second, but we also see the staircase to the rock climbing wall previously mentioned. Now let's take a look at the rest of the promenade. So outside of the boardwalk, we're going to find the shore excursions area as well as the photo gallery. So these little tablets are here to help you decide on which pictures you want to print or take home with you, as well as deciding on the excursions that you want to book or just manage your reservations with. You can also purchase some items here too, such as photography equipment, because I run out of SD cards like crazy. So if you ever need an extra one like me, you can grab that here. Across from here is the well-known and beloved Schooner Bar. But interestingly enough, we also find the Crown and Anchor Society desk. Now I say interestingly because sometimes they move it around a lot. A lot of ships, you'll see this in a very different location, and I think it's interesting that they put this right beside a bar. there's not really a wall to actually like divide. So if it's noisy and busy as the schooner bar typically is during some of the times of day, it might be a little hard to hear, but thankfully I think the hours for this desk are usually a little bit earlier when it's not so busy. But the schooner bar is a very popular place. They have live music, of course it's a bar, and they also sometimes host like trivia events up here as well. So absolutely a fan favorite. I love that it overlooks the promenade too, because especially at night, the promenade lights up. It's full of beautiful colors. But also what I love about the promenade is like even during the day, we have the glass ceiling and that helps bring in natural light. So it's not too dark in here. It's a very open and airy feeling, and I love that. Now, if you ever get lost around this ship, and I know it's a huge ship, and if you get lost, there's no judgment because even I get confused, especially with the new placement of the Windjammer. There are these little signs that will be able to help guide you in the direction that you are looking to go towards. Let's take a look at the Vitality Spa and Fitness Center. So on the other side of the promenade, we are going to find the salon and the spa. So if you're looking to get a pedicure, manicure, get your hair done, or you want a massage, couples massage, or a facial, this is where you will go. This is a great place to treat yourself, and you're gonna have lots of people to be able to take care of you. As well, if you like any of the products used during your treatment, you can purchase that here to be able to take that home with you. Now, if we take this leftward path, we are going to go to the fitness center. So it was definitely busy this day. I have to say, I love the fitness center. I like to try and stay healthy and fit while I'm at sea. So this is someplace you may find me. We're going to have a lot of cardio machines. We're going to find consultation booths if you want to discuss over professional your health and well-being, as well as your goals. We're going to find strength machines too, as well as little studios if you want to take out a mat and do like yoga, for instance. You'll find towels throughout here, some of these sanitation wipes to wipe down the machines, but we have a really nice variety in here, and I think that's great, especially with how big the ship is and how popular it is. Now, let's talk about the jogging track again. So I mentioned that there was an entrance near the Aqua Theater. We also have an entrance to the jogging track here from the gym. I love that the jogging track is down here because something that happens with the jogging track being up by the pool deck is, people are walking around. When you're at the pool deck, like you're in leisure mode, you're in laid back mode, and it can kind of be hard for joggers to go at their pace when they have to worry about all the people around them, right? So I love that the jogging track is down here on deck 5. We have entryway from the Royal Promenade as well. So you don't necessarily have to go all the way to the Aqua Theater or to the gym to have access to it. So that is a plus. And then we're going to have signage to be able to showcase which direction you need to go, as well as all of the mile markers to be able to tell you how much you are running. A little hidden gem a lot of people don't know about is we do have this little section for shuffleboard as well as an additional ping pong table. We do have some windows here to kind of weatherproof this area too, so thankfully even if it's raining you can still play shuffleboard. And it's very quiet out here too because all you have are people jogging around you, and they're usually like listening to music or just minding their own business. So a nice little spot to hang out with the family. We also have lots of views around the ship and at the aft here too from the jogging track. We can actually see the Aqua Theater from here. It's super cool. There's this glass window that you can see everything from. But this is absolutely a great vantage point for photos. Just, of course, be mindful of the joggers if you do come back here to take photos. Now let's take a look at the main dining room. So I think Royal Caribbean does a good job with this. We have the elegance that we know and love. And even though this is a newer ship, I think this main dining room still has a little bit of character to it. Sure, it's a little bit more modern than some of the older ships, but I think it still has that texture to it. It still has that vibrancy, but still has character to it. And Royal Caribbean has done a really good job with this dining room. We do see that it is multiple stories. So you have multiple different floors for usually they have different times in which you can eat. I do like how they have a bit of a waiting area out here. If you're waiting for friends or family before dinner to catch up with them, then you'll be able to wait for them out here to then go into the main dining room together. Let's take a look at the rest of the promenade. So, by the focus gallery, we have a staircase here, but we're gonna find a few different options back here. We have the rising tide entrance slash exit. So as the bar reaches all the way down here, you'll be able to get on or get off. Next to the rising tide bar, we are going to find the pesky parrot. So this is new for Royal Caribbean. I love it. It has all the ambiance that you need for that tropical getaway. We have our little parrot here. Apparently his name is Brian. And yes, sure, he may bite you. I did not test that out, but it is actually really fun because he does talk and you can get a video of him talking. He's got full animatronics, so he is definitely the life of the party. We have all of these signed $1 bills from passengers from the inaugural cruise. I'm sure it's probably filled to the brim now with all of the dollar bills. But this is absolutely a fun and popular spot for many. It is a great little place to sit back and relax from. Is right next to the boarding area, actually. And I just wish it was bigger. I think that's my only complaint because it's just so cute. Nearby, we have the port and shopping desk. So, as the name implies, you're going to be able to find port and shopping information for all of your destinations while you are on vacation. Nearby is the Voom desk, so if you ever need help with connectivity at sea with your Wi-Fi and you need help troubleshooting, this is where you can go. It is definitely manned on boarding day, so you can take care of any issues here. Now, the promenade has food options, but it has a lot more shopping options too compared to Central Park. We have the Fine Watches shop where you can get designer watches. You'll find a lot of designer shops here on this ship, to be honest. And nearby is guest services, so I think they did a pretty decent job with guest services. And look, we have another monkey with his sunglasses too. How cute. Alright, so right here, we are going to see the Cafe Promenade is where you can grab a quick bite to eat. People love it because it is complimentary, and we need more complimentary food and drinks on this ship. Clearly, with how much specialty dining they have, we'll find more of the contactless drinks dispensers, but you're going to be able to just grab a quick bite to eat, take it with you on the go, and just relax and enjoy. Great for lunch if you don't necessarily want a heavy meal. Next to the car, we're going to find Effie, which is going to have your jewelry selection to choose from. And we're going to have the next cruise desk. So if you are loving your current cruise and you decide, hey, I want to go on another cruise, this is the spot where you will want to head to. A great thing about cruising is they often have a lot of offers going on. So say you're on your current cruise and you do decide you want to go on another cruise, they might have an offer on the table for you. So definitely take note of that. And if you're feeling like going on another cruise, talk to them and see if they have anything of interest for you. And during the inaugural sailing, at least, we had this beautiful sign, very picturesque, great photo opportunity. Here we have an accessories shop, so you'll be able to see more of the designer options, such as handbags, wallets, purses, you name it. If you are feeling like going on a shopping spree, the promenade really is for you. Next, we have another fan favorite, Sorrento's. This is going to be our pizza place. If you want a late night snack, or you're just craving that comforting pizza, you will be able to grab that here. It's fan favorite because it is complimentary and because it has a nice range of hours to choose from to grab your food. The decor and ambiance of the promenade is very elegant. I think they've done a good job here. Next, we have the Bell and Barley. So this is a bar, and they're going to host live music in here too. It's kind of got like a tavern, old school vibe in here. So it's definitely a nice spot to hang out with friends and socialize in. And they probably host a few events in here too. And next door is the Port Merchant. So this is where you'll be able to grab some of your adult beverages. And next door is the memorabilia store, Royal Caribbean's merchandise. This is where you can grab your souvenirs to take home and represent your merch. They had a lot of really good choices for the inaugural sailing. I'm sure they still have lots of great products to choose from. This shopping doesn't end here though. We also have Solera, which is where you'll find like beauty, like fragrances and whatnot in here, if that is your cup of tea. You'll find just smaller merchants in the promenade here at these little kiosks as well. Next is Boleros. So this is another place where they host live music. It is a bar as well, and they host more trivia too. They had the Taylor Swift trivia in here with guessing the song, so another popular place that people frequent. Definitely gets busy in the evenings for sure. We'll find Starbucks here too, so if you're craving some of your favorite drinks from land, you'll be able to grab that here too and wake up with your coffee in hand. And with it being Starbucks, it is going to come at a cost, so do keep that in mind. But you'll also be able to grab your quick bites as well, like their cake pops. I've always loved Starbucks cake pops. Very delicious. Then we have Spotlight Karaoke. So if you want to partake in some of the activities, including karaoke, this is where they host that. They might also host some other activities too. I mean, the thing about this ship and how large it is they have lots of venues to be able to host a variety of activities. So every place, there's gonna be something for everyone. You'll find a bar in here as well to get your liquid courage for karaoke. It's a little bit more of an intimate setting than some of the other. It definitely has a bit of an intimate setting in here as well, which is pretty cool. And it looked like they had these private studios in here as well, which if you're interested in, definitely reach out to a crew member. It looks like we have a little kiosk here, like an ATM. So if you need that, you'll be able to get that here. And we'll see the Royal Theater back here, which is where they host many performances and shows. Absolutely a place to check out for late night entertainment. Now, let's take a look at Entertainment Place, which is just a little hub on the deck below where they have many venues. Something interesting with Utopia of the Seas is we do have a separate non-smoking casino on this deck. And I do have a separate video doing a full tour of the non-smoking section as well as the full casino. So if you are interested in that, I will have that linked above. We'll have more access to the theater from here as well. And beside the Casino Royale non-smoking section, we're also going to find the Crown Lounge, which is going to be the loyalty lounge that people may know of for Diamond Plus, and Pinnacle members. I love how spacious it is actually. I think it's a really nice atmosphere in here. I love to get breakfast in here and just relax. But you'll be able to find the loyalty desk in here and grab a quick drink or a quick bite to eat. We have the box office, which is a really interesting concept to be able to book some of the show's performances and whatnot. And then we have Studio B. Studio B is where they have the ice skating performances. A very interesting and unique part that Royal Caribbean offers. Now, before we go down the Park West Art Gallery, we do have the attic. This I love. I love it. They have comedians come in and perform here. I love the intimate setting in here. I think it's perfect, especially for comedy, because, you know, sometimes they like to pick on someone in the front row, and it's just a little bit more intimate rather than just having comedy in the theater. So definitely a favorite area of mine for the performances. Now we'll go down the hallway, and this is where we're going to find a lot of artwork. As you may or may not know, but Royal Caribbean often promotes purchasing their artwork that they have on display. They have some really beautiful pieces here, and they often hold auctions. You can have the artwork shipped directly to your home if you're worried about having to take it off the ship with you. Understandable. So they do offer that for you. Now, what we'll find is at the end of this hallway, we have the casino. So as I mentioned, I do have a separate video on this. So if you are interested in the layout, it is huge. There are so many machines, so many tables. So do check out that video. We even have a high roller section as well. So I'll have that linked above. Now, closer to the dining room, which we previously saw, we have Utopia Station. And this is going to have the Royal Railway. Another thing that I actually have a separate video on, it is a full immersive performance experience for dinner. So it's a little bit hard to get into. I'm gonna be honest. We had trouble getting a spot for this, but it is absolutely worth it. It is specialty, so you do have to pay for it. But I think it's one of those things that you have to try at least once. So highly recommend. And last but not least, I always like to include this, the conference center. So if you are hosting a larger group or like private functions, you can do that here. You can book the conference rooms that they have to be able to do that. All right. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful and informative for you. If you enjoyed this content, I would love for you to subscribe so you can stay up to date on all things cruising. Thank you to our Patreon and YouTube member supporters who help support the channel. This is greatly appreciated. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bon voyage.